Squares and cubes in algebraic equations. This is a digital lesson. And the lesson starts with showing an equation that includes a square. So we have 2x squared plus negative 6 equals 44, and we want to solve for the variable. So we want to first isolate this entire term that includes the variable. We want to get 2x squared alone on one side of the equal sign. So we're going to eliminate the negative 6 by taking the opposite operation, and we're going to add 6 to both sides of the equal sign. That gives us 2x squared equals 50. Now we're going to divide both sides by 2 to get rid of this 2. That'll give us x squared equals 25. And to isolate the x, or isolate the variable, here we're going to take the opposite of squaring a number. We're going to take the square root. If we take the square root of both sides of the equal sign, we're going to get x equals 5 or negative 5. Square root of 25. So it's going to be either 5 or negative 5. Now the next slide is one you might want to go over with the students. This shows students how to add an exponent in Google Slides. So go through all of these steps that students can practice before they actually start solving the equations. So on slide 4, now part of this equation is done for the students, and they're just going to fill in the missing text boxes. So again, we want to isolate the term that includes the variable, so we're going to get rid of this 3 by subtracting 3 on both sides of the equal sign. And they're just going to type these in. So we're going to end up with 4x squared equals 16. They type in 16 and 16 again here. We're going to divide both sides by 4. This will give us x squared equals 4. Now we're going to isolate the variable by taking the square root of both sides, and that'll give us two possible answers, 2 or negative 2. Now students have more of these to complete, and then when they get down to slide 6, then they're going to have to fill in every single one of the text boxes to solve for the variable. Now when we get to slide 8, now we're looking at cubes. So here are some of the most common cube roots, and they can refer back to slide 8 if they like. So here we have an equation with a cube. 5x to the third power, negative 15 equals 610. So it goes through the steps again. Now when you get down to this step, x to the third power equals 125, we need to take the cube root of both sides. That gives us x equals 5. Now we won't have a negative number here, because if we'd had a negative number and we multiplied it 3 times, we would end up with a negative product. So there's only one answer here. Now we're going to start again with some equations. Students are going to fill in the text boxes, and then they're going to do a couple filling in every step. Now there's a challenge on the final slide. They're going to move these terms around so that they can get the like terms on the same side of the equal sign, and then solve for x. So they want to do this on scratch paper, and then they can just type in their answer down here. So here, if we subtract x to the third from both sides, that would give us x to the third plus 5 equals 221, and then they can go ahead and solve it. So this is a digital lesson of squares and cubes in equations.